Wake the fuck up!
All right, well, let's get this away out at the beginning. I know we talked about her last week. Don't want to inflate your ego too much, but shout out to the woman, the myth, the legend, Jolene Johnson, for calling us out and letting us know that the recording out on the RSS feed. So on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcasts did not have my recording. Park, you want to go ahead and explain that?
So I was tired on a Tuesday night, alright, listen, and I had already been slacking posting the recording for a while. I get home, a long day in the mine at, doing my work and school, and then I realize I need to upload the podcast, and so I get on my computer, and just 5 minutes I go on, upload, done. And I think I'm good. I'm chilling. But apparently, the episodes that are labeled not even really similarly in my computer were mixed up, and I uploaded the version with my audio and my audio only. So we didn't get to hear any of Dan for the first day that the podcast was up, but it's now fixed. So if you listen to the podcast on Wednesday, no, you didn't.
I
go back.
I went directly to YouTube because I'm pretty sure Mom and Dad were going somewhere, so they were listening to the podcast in the car, and Mom texted me. She says, "Your audio is not in the podcast." And I was like, "Yes, it is. That's how a podcast works." She says, "No, it is not there." So I go to YouTube, and I'm like, "Oh, I sent Parker the wrong thing." And then I'm like, "No, the one on YouTube is right." Because I sent that one to you separately because I have to edit it separately since there's the, right, the visual aspect to it. And then I go to Spotify, and I'm like, oh no, maybe I sent him the wrong one. And I looked at the email, I was like, no, I sent him the right one. This is on him.
That's what you always got to check, is make sure it's my mistake.
Yeah, no. That's what I had to do. Big news.
We got her fixed now, so.
Big news that dropped on recording day, but it'll be a few days old by Wednesday. Nope trailer dropped. Huh? We got any Jordan Peele fans out there? Huh?
If you're not a Jordan Peele fan, you just haven't seen his movies.
Yeah, true.
Literally, those are the only two types of people.
I'm looking forward to this one because it's going to be different in the aspect of. I was thinking about it after I watched the trailer. All the horror aspects, or the villains, have been tangible things in his past movies. Get Out was his girlfriend's family just being extremely fucked up. Daniel Kaluuya's character. And then in Us, of course, it's like the it's like the mirror families. I can't remember the tethered versions of all the people. So that's a tangible villain. And then in this one, I don't know if it's a natural disaster or if it's some supernatural power or something, but the way it looked in the trailer is you can't see whatever it is, I don't think, unless it's the storm. But that's kind of another thing I like about that trailer or any of his trailers, is that you get a general idea kind of with some of the characters and what's kind of going on in the movie, but you never really know until you see the movie.
Here was the thing for me, was that I did not need to watch a trailer. So personally am not too invested in what happens in the trailer, because the more blind I go into these movies, the better, to me.
Yeah, I get that. But that's, just like I said, that's kind of what I like about his trailers, is you can go see a Marvel trailer, or really a trailer for any action movie or most movies in general, and you get pretty much the plot synopsis from watching that trailer. But this one, it's Kiki Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya are I don't know if they're in movie making or something. They have horses that are involved in movie making or something, and then Steven Yeun's character I've got no fucking clue what he is.
He wears a cowboy hat.
So yeah, he wears a cool cowboy hat and he looks up at the sky in the trailer. That's about it. That's all we get of my guy Steven Yeun in the trailer. But his name's on the poster, so I'm guessing he's going to be kind of a prominent player in the movie. That's one thing I like a lot about this movie is Get Out. I'd never heard of Daniel Kaluuya. I don't know if Black Panther had come. I think Black Panther was after, because I think I was excited that he was in Black Panther after I'd seen him in Get Out. And then Us has Lupita Nyong'o in it. I'm pretty sure. I think she'd been in a couple movies by then. She would have been in Black Panther too. That's what I know her from. I also know her from. There's a zombie movie I was gonna watch that was on Hulu that got like really hyped up, but then I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I have seen some.
Oh, was it Army of the Dead? Maybe.
No, it's not Army of the Dead. It's like I'm pretty sure she's like a camp counselor at like a kids camp, and a bunch of the kids and counselors start turning. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a horror comedy, horror comedy type thing. Emphasis on the comedy. I think Josh Gad was in it too. I think that's part of why I wanted to watch it, was he looked like some goofy idiot in the trailers, and I was like, this looks good. Lupita Nyong'o being funny with Josh Gad being funny. I'm sold, but apparently not sold well enough because I didn't get around to watching it. But now, like this third movie, Nope. I mean, all three of them are kind of. I mean, I feel like if you watch movies, you know who Daniel Kaluuya is, and you know who Steven Yeun is. A lot of people do because he was in The Walking Dead, and I liked Family? That was on Showtime. That movie I talked about a few episodes ago. And then Kiki Palmer. I mean, I haven't heard a lot from her lately, but I remember when I was a kid seeing her in some movies, and I also saw another trailer with her in it for a movie called Alice. You have to look at it. It's a real crazy plot for it, I think. I'm pretty sure it's like a girl who is a slave in the 1800s escapes and actually finds out it's the 1970s or something, and it said it was based on a true story. I was like, this this is crazy. But
no, so here's why it's going to be different for me, Dan, is because I just had to look this up to make sure I didn't make a dipshit out of myself.
Yeah.
But the only thing I know Kiki Palmer from is the Nickelodeon show True Jackson VP, as we all know.
I believe she was also in the Jump Rope Disney Channel original movie. I can't remember whether it was called.
Oh, Jump you're talking about Jump In, Dan.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Jump In.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. Guy who played Chad Danforth. He starred in that with her, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the actor's actually.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, it'll be weird seeing somebody that I know from only stuff I watched as a kid.
I think she took a break. I think she did music for a while, if I remember correctly. Now she's getting back into acting. So that'd be cool. Jordan Peele hasn't done me wrong yet. I don't think he did do wrong by some people, I think, by helping with Candyman, but I really think it was just he produced it. I think it was Monkey Paw Productions, his studio, helped produce it. So I don't. Obviously, he had a hand in it, but not as much as these movies that he directs and is like extremely hands-on with.
Yeah, he it's just 2 bangers is all he's made, you know?
Yeah, hasn't missed yet, and I don't think he will with this one.
Mm-hmm. Did I ever tell you about my theater experience at Us?
No.
So it's not really a big story, but like, it was just, Us is like, if you're unaware, which you probably aren't, but like, it's a scary movie. Or not really scary, but like, it's got a creepy atmosphere, I think is the way I would describe it. Like, I was on edge like the whole time. Yeah. And then I get out of the theater, or the lights come up and everything. We like look around, and there were probably like at least 4 sets of parents there with like young kids.
Oh my gosh.
like 10 to 12-year-olds, and I was like, dude, this would like, I would be looking for my tethered version for life if I went there as a kid. Like, I don't know. I don't know why the hell they took little kids to that, but I'm not a parent. I'm just a friggin' idiot sitting at a computer. So they probably know a little better, I guess, but like still. I just could not. That would mess me up.
I think the best scene from that movie is where they go over to that lake house of their friends, and it's the scene where they're getting killed by their tethered, and I'm pretty sure it's the wife of the twin girls. She's still barely alive, and she's yelling for Alexa to call the police, but instead it just starts playing "Fuck the Police." So for the whole next scene, all that's playing over this intense like fight between the two families is "Fuck the Police" by NWA.
Yeah, it's crazy how he went from doing like only comedy to doing like mostly this horror stuff.
That's the thing, right? Is that it's this fucking dude who did sketch comedy for however many years, and he's like, I'm gonna make a horror movie. And I think I wanted to watch it because I was like, I like Jordan Peele, so maybe I'll like this. It could be just a straight up good movie. And then I watched Get Out, and I was like, holy shit, like this is so fucking good. Just because it's like, I think both movies are just ideas that I've never like really seen before, and he does so much underlying stuff that if you watch it through the second time, you're like, oh my god, that's actually crazy.
Yeah. But Dan, I've got a debate to get your input on here.
Ah, yes. Last week it was Infinite Monkeys. Now it's...
The season has come, Dan. Girl Scout cookies are out.
True.
And we talked a little bit about this last week, but we gotta get the rankings. Where does the kids' table stand on Girl Scout cookies?
All right. Well, let me pull up a list real quick.
This is
I want to get my terminology right. Make sure I've got everything. List of Girl Scout badges. That would
make sure you get the current one, Dan, because there is a new one this year.
It's right in front of me.
There is a new one.
The Adventurefuls, are those the new ones?
The Adventurefuls are the new one, yes.
Well, at the bottom we've got lemonades. Okay.
True. Okay.
It's
we're starting off strong.
I've never liked lemon cookies. It's anything with like a hint of a fruit flavor is just terrible to me. If I want a fruit flavor, I'm gonna eat a fruit or something with like that's the main flavor. I don't want it to be like
Also, Dan, there's 3 on here. I'm gonna just ask that we exclude, and that's Toast Yay.
Yeah, we never got
Lemon
those.
Ups and Toffee Tastic. I've never heard of any of those 3.
I think I have the wrong list.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you. The link to my list.
Send me. Yeah. We gotta be on the same page here. Okay. That's the same page I just had, but it's got more cookies on it. What the heck? Yeah.
Wild.
But it's got more on there. Yeah, Lemon Ups I've never had. Toffee
This toast one I've never
Tastic.
had.
Toffee Tastic would probably be in my top 5 because I like toffee.
But you've never had that one, have you?
I don't think I have. Maybe. Yeah, but Lemon Ups, Toffee Tastic, and Toast Yays we never had.
All right.
So we'll go with that. Adventurefuls I don't think I'd had either. But
those just are this year.
Yeah,
or like just started this year.
I think they'd be good.
I've got a box here right now, Dan, and I've got to say they're pretty solid. But
yeah,
I think there's better options here. You know.
Okay, so lemonades are at the bottom. Yeah,
we can shake on that.
That's our base point right on the bottom. I suppose right above that, I'd probably go with the caramel chocolate chip, just because it's a chocolate chip cookie, you know.
Right, I can make those.
Nothing Yeah. If I want that, I'll just do that. This is where we get into tough territory.
So here's my proposal for the next one, Dan.
Yeah.
Is Caramel Delights.
Really?
I've never been much of a coconut fan.
Yeah, I think that's
And the
that's
caramel
where we differ.
is kind of
I'm not. I'm. You can put that, but my third from the bottom is we're gonna go with the Girl Scout s'mores.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next one.
I need a Word document here.
It's over. I need to fucking write these down too.
I'll open one up here.
Started ranking them, and we were like, oh man,
Could just go to.
I don't remember any of these.
Maybe I'll do Google Drive.
Okay, so by the end, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I can't sign into my Gmail.
So 9 is lemonades. We shake on that.
Yes. Yeah. And then 8, we had. 8, we had caramel chocolate chip.
Right. Then we disagreed.
Yeah.
I said Caramel Delights.
And I said s'mores.
And I will say my next one after that is s'more.
Okay.
S'mores, I like s'mores. I think the s'more Girl Scout cookie, it's just alright, you know? Like, there's not much to it. Like, I could make a s'more. It's the same thing as the caramel chocolate chip. However, I still like the flavor more than I like those of Caramel Delights.
So then, right above the s'mores, this one might get a little controversial. I think this is where we start to get controversial opinions. But I'm gonna put shortbreads.
No, I actually agree.
Okay.
I think shortbreads.
Go ahead.
Okay. So there's nothing to it, you know. Like, it's a good cookie, but like, what's the point?
My thing is
It's
I
filling my stomach.
I love shortbreads. Shortbreads taste so good. You eat 2 shortbreads, the equivalent is 2 shortbreads. You drink a gallon of water because
facts.
they're so dry. They're extremely dry. After that, right above shortbreads, I think I'm going tag-alongs.
Ooh, Dan, I gotta disagree on this one as well.
Yeah, do you like the chocolate covering on it?
Peanut butter patties, they used to be my favorite. They used to be my number one. We'll get to what took its place when we get there, but I will say I still like it a lot.
Okay. So what's right
I think
above
for me though, it's
shortbread
Do-si-dos for me. That's the peanut butter sandwich little one.
Okay. See, so we're flip flopping that. Because then my next one, my next one is Do-si-dos.
And you're not rating these new ones, I'm guessing, right?
No, I'm not gonna do because I don't.
Okay, for me, those new ones would be next.
Okay.
That puts them at number 3 on my list, I think.
Okay.
And then my number 2, peanut butter patties, aka tag-alongs. Which means, Dan, my number 1 now is Thin Mints.
Okay.
Which is a basic bitch opinion, I think.
Yeah, no, my number 2 is Samoa's, the caramel delights, and then
Caramel Delights.
My number 1 is Thin Mints. Thin Mints
we align pretty close then.
Thin Mints is just such a simple idea, and I don't think they've ever tweaked it, but it's so good.
Yeah, you don't need to tweak it. You can't improve on
it's
perfection.
perfect.
You know? Literally.
And
It's so good.
I think
Oreo
it's also,
copied it.
I think it's also just a universal thing to stick them in the freezer, right? Like that's
Yes.
just a known thing that everybody does.
I think that's what convinced me to like those better than peanut butter patties.
Yeah.
Was like I tried that and I was like, damn, that's really good.
Right. You have to go the extra mile to put them in
yeah.
your fridge, or your freezer, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah. So let's to recap. Let me double check, make sure I got. All right. My list, number 9 is lemonades. That's non-negotiable. The same on both of our lists. Lemonades are the worst. There's no redeeming quality.
Right.
Number 8, we got caramel chocolate chip. Number 7, I got the caramel delights. 6, I got the s'mores. 5, we got shortbread. 4, we got the do-si-dos. 3, we got the adventurefuls. 2, we got the peanut butter patties, and reigning supreme is the Thin Mints.
Right, and mine's one shorter because I haven't had the new one, so it was 8 lemonades on the bottom, 7 caramel chocolate chip, so we're the same up to there, and then I had 6 s'mores, 5's shortbreads, 4 was tag-alongs, 3 is the do-si-dos, 2 is Samoas, then 1 is the Thin Mints, and if we have to differentiate, then it would be regular Thin Mints right under, and then the top is frozen Thin Mints.
True.
So that's the
Yeah.
I still
About
need
the
to
only
put
place
out,
we differed is the peanut butter patty and the Samoas, the caramel delights.
I think so, yeah. I still need to put out a Facebook post, because if you put out a Facebook post and say you're looking for Girl Scout cookies, you're gonna have 20 messages by the end of the day.
It's like putting up the bat signal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if the world was full of Batmen, yes. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, I got those new ones. It's like this salted caramel brownie.
I know, it looked like a good flavor combo.
I think, even though you're not really a chocolate guy, I think you'll like it. I think you'll be a fan.
Yeah, I don't love extremely rich things, but sometimes a little bit of chocolate can go a long way, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Speaking, Dan, of a little bit going a long way, let's talk about this new trade that just went down in the NBA recently.
Wow, a good segue
Our
there,
deadline. Well, not really, kind of. Because I think
it was seamless
we'll
until
get
I
to
called
it.
it out.
But the big one, of course, the trade deadline just came. Everybody had been waiting for Philadelphia to move Ben Simmons, and they, of course, did it in a trade for James Harden from Brooklyn. But they also traded Ben Simmons along with Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, their 2022 first round, and I believe a 2026 in there as well.
Yeah, I was
Some other future one.
I was just gonna look up the trade real quick to get it all, but who's the winner in your mind in that trade?
To me, the 76ers win the trade if and only if they win the championship this year.
Really, they got to do it this year for you?
Well, because Harden's contract is up this year.
Oh, sure. Okay, so Brooklyn got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, a 2022 first-round pick that's unprotected, and then a first-round pick that's protected for 2027. And then Philadelphia they got James Harden and Paul Millsap. So to me, I thought Philly won that trade because you've got like it's not like a rebuilding team or anything. They're chasing a chip. They've got Joel Embiid, and now they've got James Harden, who's a perimeter player. And then Brooklyn, to me, isn't really in a like building phase or anything. And I guess I keep thinking of Ben Simmons and Seth Curry as young guys, but they're not. They're not veterans, but they're not young guys. They're just kind of in the middle of their careers.
Well,
But they're
Simmons
not.
is still pretty young, isn't he?
Simmons?
This is what, his fourth year, I want to say?
I suppose
Maybe
so, yeah.
fifth?
He just won Rookie of the Year in his sophomore year like 2 years ago.
Right.
2 or 3 years ago. And then Seth Curry, I guess he's a bench guy to me, you know.
Yeah, but that's what they needed to be deeper in Brooklyn.
I guess that's kind of,
they have
that's kind of their
plenty
thing.
of all-stars. Like,
Yeah. Seth Curry
Kyrie and
could be
KD are good enough.
Seth Curry's probably a good guard off the bench to sub in for Kyrie or something.
Yeah, I don't think Drummond is a big loss for Philly. Just because, Embiid's probably playing like buku minutes in at center. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's any way you like word it. Even though they did move Ben Simmons, it's hard to justify trading to have a player for 4 months unless you win that year.
James Harden just does not seem like he can find any place to fit in. He is a child's 20-piece puzzle piece trying to fit into a 1,000-piece puzzle. This man cannot squeeze in anywhere. He was in Houston, and they tried to build it around him. They had Chris Paul for him, and they also had Russell Westbrook with him, the homie from Oklahoma City. I was very surprised that did not work. The closest he seemed to making a really good, deep finals run was when he was on Oklahoma City, but obviously, that just wasn't going to work out, especially financially with 3 guys like that, At least that day and age.
I think in 2018, maybe, when it was either 2018 or 2019, when Chris Paul and James Harden were both on there. I think if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt that playoff series, I think they win.
Well,
I think they win the ship.
We've seen him be in that role, right? Like last year in Phoenix. Devin Booker is a very good scorer, and Chris Paul is a really selfless basketball player. I honestly think I have seen games where he's ended up with more assists than points, which is an interesting way to play. But if you've got guys surrounding you that can score and want to score, then that's a good dynamic to have, obviously, with how deep they were in the finals last year. And I was really hoping that they were going to win. But
yeah, after how Houston's looking, I needed a new team to bandwagon to. So I
needed a new team.
I'm kind of a Phoenix fan now. The Rockets aren't fun to watch anymore.
I just like it because they're not a super team, right? It's a veteran player with a couple of younger guys in Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, and then just a good supporting cast. And I guess that's kind of how the Bucks were too, with Giannis being the star player and then just a lot of really good supporting pieces. I wish the super team would become a thing of the past, because obviously if we're looking at the Lakers, it's not a thing that's really working out too well. And I suppose a lot of it is injuries, right?
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to ask you, though, were you surprised by Russell Westbrook not getting moved?
I guess, just because there's the whole joke that probably isn't that much of a joke that LeBron controls whatever team that he's on. But if you've got a guy with that much star power and he's that much of a veteran and can kind of control just whatever team he's on, and you've got a guy who's not producing the way that he should, then you would expect a guy like that to be gone pretty quick. Because I think there's an idea in the league that everybody wants to play with LeBron. So if you can get that lined up, you're going to take that option. So I was surprised with how many guys would probably be willing to move to that team to play with him and really be the saving grace of the whole team this year. That would be a really cool storyline to have behind you and with your career. So I was surprised, especially just with how much has been going on with him being taken out at the end of that game, because I think their coach said that he wanted guys in there who could produce a winning shot for them, and he wasn't in the cards on that. And him also saying Russell Westbrook himself saying that he's having back issues because he's not used to being on the bench for that long of stretches. I don't know. It just is like that type of situation I think you usually see around the trade deadline, where it's not somebody directly coming out and saying they want to be in a different spot, but essentially just like everything coming out that points to the team not wanting him there and like him not wanting to be there. So I don't know. I wish the aspect of super teams was just gone in and of itself after the Warriors kind of dissipated. I don't think it's worked out that well for any team ever since the Warriors. Ever since their last year with Kevin Durant after he left. I don't think it's worked out that well.
Yeah, Lakers fell apart. Brooklyn fell apart.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not really many super teams left.
I like the teams more where it's just a star player and then you kind of, I guess, just build from there, right?
Yeah. But you know that situation you described with Russell Westbrook being benched in clutch minutes?
Yeah.
Is exactly what happened with Ben Simmons in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I forgot because he miss a big shot in one of their games, and then he was just kind of, they kept him out.
Yeah, he couldn't make free throws, so he was a liability to have out there and be fouled.
Yeah.
They'd just leave him open until he got the ball, and then he'd get fouled, and
right.
He probably misses at least one of them.
I mean, that was
kind of
the thing in the day with Shaq. Hack-a-Shaq,
yeah.
That was always the go-to in the playoffs. Really just any game, I guess, where it was tight in the closing minutes.
Yeah, but he was at least, he was dominant in at least that area.
Simmons
I guess Westbrook both aren't dominant enough to justify still keeping in.
That's the thing, is that you kind of expect post players, big guys, to be worse at shooting free throws because, I mean, their spot's really inside the paint in the post. They're a post player. Whereas if you're a guard or even small forward, kind of that flex position, you're expected to be, I would say, at least 80% from the line. And really just not, once you get in the NBA, being able to knock down every shot in the clutch in free throws, I guess, at least. I think part of it's also people are getting worse at free throws, even though it's something you practice all the time, just the mid-range jumper kind of dying out. You don't see guys take a lot of elbow shots because it's, how is it described? I think the most risk, least reward type of shot, because you're essentially 2 or 3 steps from shooting a three-pointer or being close to being in the paint, where it's more efficient to shoot from and you're still getting the same amount of points if you were shooting it from the elbow. So I don't know if guys are worse at free throws because of that or if it's just they don't practice it enough, but I don't know. I think that's probably the most interesting part about that trade, right? Is that I think a big storyline through the NBA this year has been just Ben Simmons doesn't want to play for the Sixers and he refuses to do anything. So now he's got what he wanted. Another team took him in a trade. So is he going to start showing up to practice and start showing out for the rest of the season? Or is it just going to be the same thing as it was for the 76ers during that playoff run where he just he couldn't make anything and the team, or the city started to just kind of hate on him, so he was like, well, if they hate on me, I'm just not going to play. Because I think if the same thing happens in Brooklyn, he's probably getting close to his way out of the league.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, I could see it going well, because, in Philly, he was, expected to be the guy, he was, running the offense, pretty much. Yeah. And here, he can have Kyrie doing that. He just kind of has to defend, set screens, and, occasionally drive to the basket, which he's more than capable of that. Unless he passes up a wide open dunk. But,
in my
that
mind,
was a separate incident.
In my mind, I think he could be a starter on that team, because I'd have to look at their roster to see who's in their small forward slot right now. But I also think just him being a good, fresh off the bench player, getting like 20 minutes a game and producing, I don't know, about 20 points a game, he could probably be a good asset to the team.
Here's the thing that still makes me hesitant to say he'll be successful, though. It's like what you said. He was like, the Philly fans were like on him about like not producing and being what he should be. And he's going to Brooklyn. People are not going to be nicer in Brooklyn than they are in Philly. Like,
well, that's the thing.
He's going to have the same problem.
Yeah, if he's not... Oh, wow. They have him listed as a point guard. Jeez. Is that really how
That's
much
what
he
he did
running?
in Philly.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be point... I would think it'd be Seth.
No, yeah. It'll be Kyrie.
Oh, yeah. No. He's definitely starter, but...
Yeah. And occasionally maybe like Patty Mills probably off the bench.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Patty Mills is over there. Yeah. I don't know. Ben Simmons, so, yeah. I think, is either shooting guard or small forward. I don't think you want him running any type of offense, but...
No. Not especially not in Brooklyn where you have better options. I think it was just they were hesitant in Philly to try anyone else, and now they're finding that they have decent people to do it. And who is it? Tyrese Maxey, their current starting point guard, or am I overselling him?
Is Kyrie not starting right now?
I mean in Philly.
Oh, Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue. Kind of forgot Blake Griffin was on the Nets too, to be honest with you.
Because he hasn't done much.
No, boy, talk about a fall from grace. He was huge on the Clippers. And then he went to the Pistons and was supposed to be good. I think he had an injury is maybe what happened.
Because he did good for a while.
I remember him doing pretty well on the Pistons, and then I think he got traded from the Pistons, whether he was still out on an injury or if he came back from an injury and just wasn't producing as much. And I remember him going to the Nets, and I was like, oh, he's gonna show out now. He's got all these stars around him, and I just haven't heard much.
Yeah, he's had a few good games, but. And then Aldridge came out of retirement. He was playing with those boys again.
Oh, that's right.
And then he sure hasn't done much.
No. Those are always crazy stories. Guys coming out of retirement partway through the season. Just in any sport. Tom Brady was talking about, he retired. He's supposed to be the GOAT athlete, period, some people say. And they asked him about coming out of retirement, and not even a year or 2 years or 3 years or anything. He said, I'm happy with my decision right now, but I can't say I'll feel the same in 6 months. It's like, so you're saying you might just be retired for the postseason and then come back?
That would be very funny.
Oh my gosh.
It's all a ploy to get out of summer training.
That's what it is, yeah. He doesn't want to train
And then
anymore.
September he's like, guys, I can't stay away.
Well,
because I just got out of training.
I was like, there's no way this guy doesn't want to just, like, be a husband and a dad for a little bit, but I guess if you've played football for that long, that's almost all you know. Is just playing football.
Yeah, he's been living playing professional football longer than not playing professional football.
Yeah.
Which is an insane thing to think about.
I suppose you kind of devote yourself probably from like middle school up through your professional career just to football. At least high school through your professional career. Because you're probably trying to hit the weight room and everything as much as you can. And boy, that'd be tough. I can't imagine that. It'd be. Plus now he's just gonna have you still have that immense like paparazzi presence, I feel like, around you for the rest of your life. If you play that well for your whole career.
Yeah.
People
and then you just have that still.
Yeah. People are just interested in your every waking moment. It's like like the Kanye video where there's paparazzi in his driveway. He's like, "Hey, good morning, Kanye." And Kanye's just like, "Shut the fuck up." Oh my god, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it? You wake up, you haven't even had breakfast yet. You're out in the garage. It's some stranger that you don't even know is just like, "Hey, good morning, man."
Yeah, well, that's the same way. Here in Iowa City, like there's a few athletes that are like big. Like Tristan Wirfs is the biggest example I can think of. Played here, Iowa Hawkeye, then became like a Super Bowl winning, insane, like huge part of that team too. Like doing a lot to help them win. He like will go out to the bars here and he is like never not surrounded by fans.
I feel like that'd be tough as a college kid too. Like if you were like Luka Garza or I think it's Keegan Murray this year is doing well. I just watched the Nebraska game with him and he did really well. But like being a college kid and like I'm sure basketball is a huge part of your day in, day out, but you're still going to classes and stuff too. And you go out and party every once in a while and people just like even like if you had like a game or practice the next day, people are just like, "Hey, you really shouldn't be out here, man. You got practice the next day," or "You did really great in that game."
That would be the worst.
I would hate that. It's like, hey, how about you just mind your own business, dog?
Yeah, if
like,
people would be like fucking armchair athletes, like, "Hey, man, look,
armchair
you're doing pretty good out there." But like,
that.
maybe if you would have like shot that 3 right at the end of the game, you might have just won.
He's like, "Hey, I noticed your post play was a little lacking in the last game. How about we go to the gym tomorrow and I can show you some good post up moves." It's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like,
get that you played AAU basketball in high school, but I don't think you know very much.
Being a dipshit and posting it on the internet is one thing, but like if you see him like out and you're like, "Hey, man, look," and you like try to fucking coach him. Oh man,
I guess
that
even
would
just
be nuts.
like if he's out with his friends or something. You've got that many people, not even in a bar situation. If you were just to go out to dinner like with his family some weekend, if they come to see him or with friends or something, just in a regular setting at a restaurant, people walking up to him. Sometimes I'm sure it's nice, but there's other times where it'd just be like I'm with my family or with friends and just trying to enjoy a meal, and you've got people talking to you.
That's true. I will say those athletes go out to the bars. They never got to pay for a drink there.
That is true. Yeah,
like they aren't ever paying for nothing there. Not that money's an issue for them, but still, like
with NIL now, that's kind of nice.
You already know, like
that
they're paying
NIL
for
stuff.
whatever. Oh, you know what I love about NIL, Dan, is that it has made this whole new breed of like local business ads.
I remember you talked about the
not
the pizza
only
or something?
Yes, Falbo Brothers Pizza. And like it's just this whole new breed of local ads because it's like, before they're kind of cringy to watch and everything, but like it's just like, oh, this is just some guy. But something hits different about seeing a random guy lip sync a Falbo Brothers jingle versus seeing Patrick McCaffrey, Iowa basketball player, lip sync Falbo Brothers jingle.
Like credit to them. I can't dunk on a 12-foot rim. I would probably shoot terrible percentages compared to them if I could even get a shot up without getting it blocked in a real college game. But you can tell that they're not really actors. They don't have too much experience in front of a camera.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about, for those of you who haven't seen it, is there is a pizza place here in Iowa City called Falbo Brothers. I've never had it, so I can't really attest to their quality. But there is an ad, and it is a very catchy jingle. I'll give them that. And it's pretty much just saying, whenever I want pizza, I want Falbo Brothers. And there is Patrick McCaffrey, an Iowa basketball player. Very good basketball player, too, by the way. Shout out Patrick. And during this jingle, he is lip syncing, and it is never, ever close. Never close. And there's even a point where there's three different ones of him on the screen, and they're all lip syncing, and none of them, not only are none of them right, None of them are like synced up with each other.
They're all off.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which, I mean, it's a memorable ad. Like,
See,
I'll give him that.
my thing is, I really hope it wasn't even supposed to be lip sync. They just had him sing it, and they were like, "This is so off," and they're like, "There's no way we can call him back," and they're like, "Well, we'll just have somebody else come in the booth and sing it and try and line up the lips," and it was just so bad. And they're like, "It's got to be cleared by today. We just got to send it."
All right, guys. It's not lined up at all, but it'll work. We paid him. He's fine with it.
They said we can't look like the kids' table and just have one person's audio in there or something. You know,
That's so true.
we just
They can't have an audio error like us schmucks, dude.
yeah.
Imagine that ad, but there's no sound.
Does that make it better or worse?
It depends on what you're looking for. It would be funnier.
Yeah,
I think it would be funnier, but
yeah. If they wanted a seriously good ad, then it would have been nice. Well, did you get in your bets for the game tonight?
What do you think, Dan?
I think I have my
20 years
wiretap
old.
on, and I'm ready to report to the FBI if you say that you've got them in.
I do not have my bets in for the Super Bowl, sir.
All right, I'll try and catch you when we're off camera. And
But
send us
you,
my
Dan,
mindset.
I'm
Yes.
going to guess you have some bets.
I'm 22 years of age. It's legal in this state, so I did put a little bit of the I think Christmas money that I had left over. I'm logging into my account right now so I can see what it was for sure. Give you my, just in case anybody wants to follow along with me. Oh my gosh, this app is terrible.
Now, before you try to get people to go along with you, Dan, can you remind us how much money you've won betting versus how much you've lost?
How
Your
much
net
I
gain,
won.
maybe?
The differential between it is probably like -50. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, so yeah.
I don't want to say -50. I'll say -25. Because I think I've 27 because I put in $25 to do this, and the only bet I'd placed before. This is why I kind of have a hatred towards the Suns, is because I made my account for the app that I use on opening day of the NBA, and they had this crazy good thing that was you could only bet up to $2 on it. It would have been really cool, but they had crazy boosted odds on it. So like you put down $200 or $2, excuse me, you put in $2 and you could make like $100 off of it just for picking the right team to win. And I picked the Suns over the Nuggets because I was like, well, they were in the finals last year. Well, DeAndre Ayton was not cleared to play that game for whether it was an injury or COVID protocol, or I think he didn't have his contract. They didn't re-up his contract yet, so he didn't play. Oh, gosh. I was so mad. Because I only lost $2, but I had
you lost
odds.
a potential.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, it's up here. So I'll give you a Cooper Kupp has got to be like the number one receiver for the Rams, a very good receiver, just in general. I think he had a touchdown or two at least in their conference championship game that they won. And then Jamar Chase, very good receiver as well, plays for the Bengals. He played, I'm pretty sure, at LSU with Joe Burrow, who's the quarterback for the Bengals, if you don't know. So they've got a good connection. But I have anytime touchdown scorer for both of them. So they just have to score one touchdown at any point in the game. Cooper Kupp has to get over 105 yards, which I'm hoping will happen. And then Jamar Chase only has to get over 78 yards. So I'm feeling confident in it. I put down $9.50 on that one. I can get $76 out of it.
Ooh,
So,
that's not too bad.
Exactly. You do a parlay. If you don't know what a parlay is, it's you put down just different things, sometimes in the same game, sometimes just like it can even be across different sports. Sometimes it's just whatever it allows. But just doing a parlay boosts your odds because it's different things going on, and all of those things have to happen. It can't just be one or two. it's got to be all of them, and it could be. I think parlays could be like anything from 2 to I don't know 10, 12, however much, however many you can find that can go in the same parlay. So you're just boosting your odds, and you can put down a really small amount of money and win a huge amount of money. But that's just because so many different things have to happen that it allows it. But my thing is just like putting down bets gives me extra incentive to pay closer attention, or even just to watch something that I wasn't originally going to watch. And some of them, they've even got on winter sports. Let's see if they've got anything going on here. No, not right now, I guess. But they did have, like, you could bet on curling, and like a specific team to win or specific someone to happen. But they've got like even just for the Super Bowl, just crazy, outlandish things that happen. Is the opening kickoff going to get returned for a touchdown? And it's ridiculous odds on it. Let's see what I could win if I put down $5. $350. But it's ridiculous odds. That's if I put yes. So if I were to put no on that and I bet $5, I would win. Oh, it's not. I don't know why it's not going to let me. Literally just let me look at it. Okay, here. I would win nothing. It would be so minuscule.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Have you ever heard of Mattress Mac?
Mattress Mac.
Mattress Mac. It's this guy who's got an insane amount of money. The Bill Gates type. You know. Mm-hmm. But he puts down millions of dollars to usually on like the favorite, because a little 101 on betting. If you pick the favorite, since it's more likely that they win, you don't get you wouldn't get as much if you voted on the underdog. Right. But if you put down millions of dollars, you're still multiplying millions of dollars by winning the favorite, as compared to my $2 to $5 bets that I usually place. I can't win as much on a favorite. But he's lost his last few. So if the Bengals beat the Rams, he bet on the Bengals. He put $9.5 million down for the Bengals to beat the Rams. He would get $16.2 million.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's them being the favorite. Granted, it's not by very many points, but they're still, they're still favored to win it. I think, wow, it's the largest bet any legal sportsbook has ever taken.
Damn.
Crazy.
They must be real confident that fucking LA's gonna win if they're letting that bet happen.
During the 2021 MLB season, he put $13 million in multiple wagers on the Astros to win the World Series. Yeah, he's crazy.
Damn.
I don't know how you can get that much that money to bet on stuff. I would love to get that kind of money.
That's facts.
You can bet on me. Just to be good on life, or be good in life, and
you think
I could get the income from it.
You think we can make an over-under of how many bottles of pop you stock in a day?
Over-under on how many bottles I stock?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, trying to do the math on this. I usually probably put out like 200 cases at the 2 stores in Fort Dodge. Out of those 200 cases, I want to say, this week especially, I'd probably put 100 out at both stores that are 6-packs. So you do 100 cases times 4 6-packs in a case.
And this shows how much of a gross misunderstanding of
like,
your job I had. I was going to say over under like 40.5.
Oh no, my friend. Especially if I'm doing more than just 2 stores. It depends on the week too, You got different sales. 5 for 10 at one of them this week, and it's Super Bowl weekend, so people were really popping off for that stuff. Now you're getting me onto a tangent. Can I talk about my pet peeves that that happen at retail
Your
stores?
pet peeves of retail? Yeah, do it.
Gosh,
Let's do it.
dude, there's... I'm really digging into it now. It's just like... Certain people are great, you know? Like, I do my best when I'm pulling these pallets full of pop to try and stay out of the way. But if you got somebody coming in with a small cart and all they've got is like a gallon of milk, and they're right behind me and I have to stop on a dime pulling a pallet of that stuff, it's tough. Real tough. So the things that make it really hard to do that are, or just like annoy you when you're trying to get done. I hate people that either have a conversation in the middle of an aisle, or they'll go to get something in a different aisle and they leave their cart in the middle of the aisle. That the latter, when they just leave the cart, there's no way it helps anybody. Everybody else who is shopping has to now go around that cart, or if you're a worker, you have to stop and wait for that person to come and move the cart. And the person going to get the thing, you have now created more work for yourself because you are not only leaving that cart to go and get the item, you have to come all the way back to get that cart. And sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Like if you're getting a 24-pack of someone's pop, and you have to walk all the way across the aisle now and take it back to your cart instead of just putting it on the bottom of your cart, the math doesn't make sense. It's not there. I don't get it. It's the conversating in the middle of the aisle is worse when it's around a holiday, because it's people who haven't seen each other in forever. Maybe they went to high school together. Maybe they're family members who just ran into each other. Or maybe it's people who used to work together. Maybe they used to work at that store. That creates, instead of just a 2 to 3 minute hello, hi, what's been going on, into they are catching up on their entire lives. This conversation will take 15 to 30 minutes. You may as well, a lot of times I end up just going down a different aisle and looping back around, because it's quicker to do that than to just try to work around them. The worst part is when someone will see me out of the corner of their eye, and then they get done with the conversation and they go, "Oh, I didn't see you there." Yes, you did. We made eye contact.
Facts.
You found out my life story by looking at me in that just quick second glance. You saw the pain in my eyes of being an hour into overtime work. You didn't care. You're just doing you know?
Because you saw Jen from high school.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just had to know that she was running a salon.
You hated Jen in high school. You're just trying to flex on her for 15 minutes. You can do this over Facebook. Send her a message on Facebook.
Exactly. Just post something passive-aggressive on your wall.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. It's just things that don't make sense. Things that if you took a couple seconds, people feel that their time is much more precious than yours, and like they'll just take forever doing something when there's an alternative option that would make it easier, not only for yourself but for everybody around you.
Yeah, the leaving in the cart in like a different aisle, that one's just weird to me.
That always baffles me when somebody does that.
Because the conversation one, I'm probably guilty of that. I don't really have any that long, you know. But
I'll get off to the side of the aisle.
Right. These do. You're talking like just in the middle of the aisle?
They're in the middle of the. So when you pull a pallet down an aisle, you leave an entire. Most of my stores, there's enough room for a whole like another pallet to go by, so we could have two people working in one aisle. But you can't do that if there's someone smack dab in the middle of the aisle. It's very easy to get along one of the sides of the aisle. You know, if you do that, no problem. But if you're right in the middle of the aisle, especially when it's one person's on one side of the aisle and one person is on the other, and both of their carts are like, they look like they're connected.
Facing toward each other.
Yes, that's the worst. Because if I have been doing the job long enough now where I'm just like, excuse me, can I get by just really quick? When I used to just stand there with my pallet. But I found out that it's just much quicker. It will be much more painless for me if I just say something, even if they give me an agitated look or something. I'm just trying to get done with my job, man. Most of the time, I want to say probably 100% of the time I've done it, they've just been like, "Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Like, it's cool. I get it." Sometimes you get into the heat of the moment in the conversation and you're not paying attention. But doing this job, like, my head's just constantly on a swivel. I can pinpoint where the sound of a cart is coming from, or a pallet jack or whatever, and I can know if it's like to the right. It's like Call of Duty players, professional Call of Duty players, when they wear their headsets, and they can tell where the footsteps are coming from.
Except yours only applies in retail stores.
But I kind of use it just even when I'm out shopping, I guess. I don't know why some people just don't seem like they have that awareness. Like, I'll be moving down an aisle, and there's like an aisle between me and then the next aisle over, and I'll be like, I can hear a grocery cart and it's moving quick. There's no way this person is slowing down, so I'm gonna slow down right now. And then they whip around the corner, and I'm far enough back because I heard the cart, and then they come right in front of me, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like it's fine. I heard you. I slowed down. It's cool. But I'm just like, I don't know how they can't hear it, because I usually try to make enough noise, not with like my mouth or like stomping around or anything, but you can always hear a pallet jack rolling around. So it's like, I just don't know why. I guess people don't slow down, or I just always slow down at the end of an aisle, just like a stop sign or something, and you check both ways before you start moving again. Lose all your momentum, so it's harder to get going again, but it's possible.
If you're concerned about the momentum of your shopping cart, like, I think there's a little something wacky there.
I think that's always my thinking, is that it's just, there's people who will like keep moving and they just like cut me off, so I have to stop on a dime, which I've developed this thing now where I'll put my foot like in front of the jack to a point where it's like, it's not on the wheel, so like the wheels aren't going to run over my foot, but I can push with my arms and now with my leg to stop the pallet quick enough. But I always get worried that it's going to be a time when I'm pulling a pallet that's like not secure and everything's kind of shifting around on the pallet, and then I stop it on a dime and it's all just going to fly off the front. Because that's always my big thing. I guess I'll leave it at that. I've ranted long enough about it. It's just it's so much easier to stop a grocery cart than it is to stop a pallet full of stuff. Even if it's not heavy, the odds are it's not secured on the pallet very well. So if someone has to stop on a dime, it's probably going to come off and either hit them or hit you, and they're going to feel terrible about it. So I guess I don't know. I always tell people to keep in mind that it's going to be much easier for them to stop, and they're going to feel terrible if they hit anybody. I'd rather run over myself before I run over someone else. I've had stuff happen where I'll like run over my foot or like hit my ankle or my shin, and I go home and I got a huge bruise for like 2 weeks. But I'd rather do that than even just like touch somebody's cart.
Right.
So be mindful when you're out, during the holiday seasons, usually when it's the worst, just because there's so many people and everybody's just trying to get in and out. It's bad today too with the Super Bowl, but predictions. That's how we can end today. Who you got? Who you got tonight? Who you got?
It's the Bengals.
Sunday. The
Bengals are winning. Joe Burrow will not let himself lose.
Going with the Simpsons choice?
Is that the Simpsons choice?
Yeah. Did you not see that?
No.
It's from an older episode, and I don't know if they had the year. I don't even know if they had like, they probably had the Bengals, but I don't know if it was the Rams because it just said Cincinnati versus L.A. But I'm pretty sure it was 34-31, and they had the Bengals over L.A. It's Cincinnati 34, L.A. 31.
Dude, if they call this one, they gotta like investigate him, dude. Like, they know something we don't.
They know something we don't.
And how about you? Who do you think's winning?
I guess maybe it's supposed to be the Dolphins. Somebody doctored it, but I think I've got the Rams. Matt Stafford's been waiting for this for a long time. He had to eat a lot, just swallow his pride and be on the Lions for so long, just where they had terrible seasons, and now being on the Rams, and they picked up a lot of great players. They've got Jalen Ramsey on defense. They've got Aaron Donald on the line. He's a freaking machine. Cooper Kupp is an insane wide receiver. I think it'll just come down to how everyone plays defensively, because they've both got amazing offenses, and the connection between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase going to college together is just like insane. So, but I'm really just hoping for a good game. I don't know if you watched any of the playoffs. I watched a good chunk of the playoff games, and they were all like within a touchdown of each other for the most part. I don't think there was any blowouts, so it'll be nice to see that as compared to a lot of the blowouts we've seen in the past. I think the halftime show looks good. It's got Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Dr. Dre, I think Mary J. Blige. So it'd be cool to see, as long as it's not a Fergie, Star Spangled Banner at the beginning. I know we had that chat, I think, a week or two ago, but always nice to see some interesting stuff like that. Hoping for some good commercials, too. I know we talked about last week, and obviously we saw this morning after they dropped the Nope trailer that was said to drop for the Super Bowl. You just never know how much is actually going to be new at the Super Bowl and how much is like already been released and you could already see. So. I think that'll do it for today's recording, unless you got anything else you want to squeeze in.
I think we're ready to go.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. You can always follow us on our socials. We've got our Linktree link on there. You can get to all of our episodes every week. I think that's the easiest way to go about finding that episode. But thanks for listening this week, and we will be back next week.